Hello, Monica. Thanks a
Hello,
lot
my
for joining me for this interview. Thanks a lot for joining with your time.
I must thank you. It's an honor for me to be interviewed for the IPNFA, so I'm happy to do so.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You did so many things. We will come back later. But first of all, I would like to ask you, how did the idea comes in your brain that you are going in the profession of a PT we are interested on?
Mm. This is a nice story because I was pretty young by that time. And my grandmother used to live in the countryside. And we used to spend all vacations over there with the other cousins and everybody. And in this house of my grandmother, I had an aunt that has a small typing school by that time. So
Yeah.
people would go there to learn how to type in these old machines. And I like to watch the typing lessons and everything. And I met a lady over there
Uh-huh.
by that time. I was probably 12 years old.
Wow.
And this lady, this is funny, this lady had a stroke when she was maybe 17. I think it was an aneurysm.
Mm-hmm.
And she was there typing and doing the lessons to improve her dexterity, finger dexterity. So she started telling me her story. And I
Wow.
was so amazed of this. And she was telling me, oh, at the beginning, I could not move my whole body, and this
Wow.
side was not possible. And I went to this rehab center in Belo Horizonte. And over there, they treat me and I start walking again. And I was completely fascinated with this.
Great.
And so by that time, I was, oh, that's the thing I want to do as a profession. So that's the whole
Great.
story.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Such young time, and that's so great. That's really great. And as I know, the education in Brazil is different, right? You go to the university for a few years. Yes.
Yes, by my time, it was a little bit smaller. So by my time, they even have by high school like a special course for maybe an assistant of a
Uh-huh.
PT. So
Okay.
someone that could help. But I was
Yes.
pretty young, like 14 years old. And then I finished this assistantship. Right now, we don't have this anymore in Brazil.
Yeah.
And then I went to university level.
Mhm.
Nowadays, we have like 5 years at university level.
Yes.
By my time, it was 3 or 4 years. And then I finished PT school at the university when I was 20 years old.
Wow. So
Yeah,
young.
so I was pretty young, pretty young.
Yes, 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 yes. And did you have already contact in the education with PNF, or how comes that you are get contact with PNF?
By graduation, not too much. I had just one teacher that had some idea about PNF. She took a course before, so she gave some small ideas
Mhm.
for us. But then when I finished PT school, I went to a residence program in Rio in a rehab center.
Yeah.
And over there, it was a year residency program. And during my program,
Yes.
Julio Sanchez,
Yeah.
the guy from Argentina that brought PNF to Brazil,
Hmm.
went to this rehab center in my year of residency to
Great.
give a 240 hours course in
Wow.
PNF.
Wow.
That was a 2 months course. It was a
Amazing.
huge course, amazing. And I was like, I confess that I didn't know exactly how it would be all about, but something kind of pushed me to the course. And I said, I need to do this. I need to
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
And I started the course and I was completely in passion with this.
Right.
So when I finished, I was like 6 months after graduation. And I was like, definitely, this is my thing. I was completely in love with this since the beginning.
Yeah, great. So even it was a very long-term course, so we can say from the hours over level 5 in our new system now. But nevertheless, I know that you went to Valeo, right? And
Yes,
learned.
I went to Vallejo actually maybe 10 years later. By the time I took the Julio's course, Julio was in Vallejo twice,
Aha,
learning direct from Maginot.
right.
And by coincidence, he was in the same class as Henk Mangold,
Oh, great.
our coordinator after Maginot.
Yes.
So by that time, Julio already advised us to go there. He used to say, everybody should go to Vallejo. The program is great and it's such a nice experience.
Wow.
So since that time, I was planning to go there. The line was enormous,
Mm-hmm.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
So my course with Julio was in 1986, before the IPNFA started.
Yes.
And I got to go to Vallejo 10 years later in 1996.
Yeah.
So I went to Vallejo for 3 months, and it was such a great experience for me too, because it was 10 years after Julio's course. I was using PNF for 10 years, but I know it was not enough, the knowledge, and I need to study more. So there was the starting from the IPNFA system, I should say, in
Yes.
1996.
That's so great. It was exactly 10 years after my time in Valeo 6, when I have been in 1986 for 6 months. Great. But
This is
as I
nice.
know, it was not so easy because you went already there with your young family, right, to Valeo? Yeah.
Yes, I was planning for many years this trip.
Yes.
And when I went there, it was not the whole family, but my oldest son, Lucas, was 2 years and a half.
Yes.
And I thought, oh my God, 3 months apart from from him, it would be impossible for me.
Right.
But my parents, they were retired already.
Great.
So they could join me and take Lucas to spend the 2 months and a half together. And that helped me a lot.
That's so great. So great, yes. And I never meet another person who has been there with the child. So I think this is also very unique and so great. And then after Valeo, because as I know, you have been the very first IPNFA instructor in Brazil. How was the run after the 3 months in Valeo? What did you do?
When I finished the 3 months, Hank really helped me a lot. And she would say, oh, you must keep going with this, and you must follow the IPNFA program, and you should become an instructor. So she kind of helped me at the beginning with some advice. So I joined the IPNFA, and I went to my first meeting in 1998.
Yes.
There was the meeting, Hink retired, and
Aha.
then Tim Johnston took her place.
Yes.
So I started following the steps. So my first course in Europe
Mm-hmm.
was in the year 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined the IPNFA in 1998. And from 2000 on, I'm going to the meetings every year. So I start following the steps with the help of the Europeans at this time. And so I became basic instructor in 2004.
20 years ago.
Yes, 20 years ago. And at the same year, I started my working closely to the executive committee at the IPNFA.
Yes.
Another thing that I like it a lot.
Yes, this would be my next question, because I know you serve and still serving so many years for the IPNFA in the executive committee for very, very long time. And yeah, later we will talk also about the online congress. So
Okay.
you said already you like a lot, so you start. I remember 2004, it was the meeting in Bad Nauheim.
It was very nice. I was really surprised with the invitation when Bridget came to me and I said, "Oh, I think you are a good person to be the vice president." And I was shocked. And I said, "Oh my God, this must be a very tough work. I don't know if I can manage." But then they kind of motivate me, and I started this work in 2004. And it lasts for many years with different presidents in the meantime, and Karsten and Cici, starting with Cici, just 1 year, and then Karsten, and after him, Reba and Karsten again.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very nice work for me.
Yes, and then from the vice president, you change the position. You step up one position, we can say, right? You have been
Yes, that
also
was,
president.
yes, I was president in 2018 for 6 years,
Yeah.
and it was a good time too. The same feeling I had when they kind of pushed me to become the president. I said, "Oh my God, this is not for me. I want to be in the background." But it was also very nice. It was, I
Hmm.
did my best, and I
Absolutely.
think it was very, very nice also.
Yeah. And it feels all the time strange if a person like you is staying such a long time in the executive committee and then immediately leaving. That's so strange. And I ask you, because this year in Osaka was the very first time not being in the committee, in the responsibility. So just joining the meeting feels different, right?
Yeah, it feels different. It feels different, and I try to get the best of it
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
And also because of the duty for the online congress,
Yeah.
it's not just a completely free situation, but it was easier, I should say.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, but you still, and I talked already on the interview with Carsten, because we start this nice online congress in the pandemic, right? And we can say Carsten and you are most responsible for this. And yeah, how was the idea coming up? How was
Okay.
the
Yeah,
plan?
in 2020, the pandemic was really a huge stuff for all of us,
Yeah,
right? In every
that's
country. And I think all over the place, everybody would believe that this would be over pretty soon, like in a
yeah,
few months
yeah,
or something
yeah,
like this.
yeah.
And we were having the chats within the committee, within the executive committee, since the beginning of the year. And until June, we need to decide if we would be able to have a live AGM or not.
Yes.
And in June, we need to decide and say, listen, we cannot meet each other. And that was like a shock to everyone. But at the same time, everybody would ask themselves and ask us, can we do something different? Everybody's doing something online,
Yes.
things like this.
Yes.
So I came to my son Lucas, the one that was 2 years and a half when I went to Vallejo. He was living in my house by that time because of the pandemic, and he works in public relation and marketing and etc. So I came to him and I said, Lucas, do you see any possibility that we could do something in just a few months online? So he said, if you give me 3 days, I come with an answer.
Great.
After 3 days, he came with a PowerPoint presentation, maybe 8 slides, and he said, we could do something like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, maybe this is possible. So I called Carson and I said, Carson, can Lucas show you? And if you agree, we show to the other two people from the executive committee and let's see if we can do this. So that's the whole start. The
Yes.
first one was really like in a rush because we need to find speakers that could manage to make a lecture in 30 days.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
It was pretty fast. So we
Yeah.
kind of invite personally people that we know that talks about some topic that
Yes.
wouldn't be too much for that people. And that was the first one. And the first online congress was such a surprise because we were expecting the most 200 people, 300 people. And in the first online congress, we had 5,000 people.
Amazing. So
And it
great.
was, wow, this was nice.
Yes.
And that was the all the beginning. So we keep the online congress the second year. And finally, we could see each other again in a live AGM on
Yes.
the year after.
Yes.
But as the online congress had a very good repercussion all over the place, we decided to keep it.
Great.
So right now we have the live AGM as years before, but we also have the online congress, and I think it's a good thing to keep.
Absolutely. It's so great. And I said already, it's so great to see the improvement over the years and the quality. And that's really great. But what I would like to say on this point for everybody outside, that we have to say thank you to Lucas because he's doing such a great job and also helps us in the public relation committee. So, and I guess if you start as a small child in Valeo in PNF, you have to be connected maybe all over your life. So this is so great that he was with you in Valeo, I think. Yeah, that's really
This is
great.
nice.
That's so good. So good.
Nice story.
Yes, and we know that he's so helpful also during our meeting. And I got a lot of good feedback that the people really like that they have the chance to see again. And Monica, I ask mostly also if you have a special idea, advice, or proposing to the young colleagues or to our assistant or to our young instructors. What would you say about what would be helpful for them? What do you think?
Mm, I think that just keep improving their skills and studying a lot and cooperating with other people
Yes.
and making part of our family, IPNFA family. And we get in contact with many other associations.
Yes.
And I don't see another association so close
Yes.
as we are, as a family, meeting every year and discussing every year what to change and how to update.
Great.
And I think if we keep the process like it is, keeping the updating and having the new people getting interested in PNF and running our courses with our hearts,
Yes.
because I think this is the biggest marketing we have.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think, yes, when people get in the course and when they treat the patients, they get the motivation and they get the feeling we want our patients get, that they are able to get better. So I think the main thing is to keep the PNF philosophy in their
Great.
lives and in their studying. And like this, I think we gonna keep moving on for
Yeah.
better.
Great. And because you said about the courses, so going back to your country, to Brazil, now we have more instructors in Brazil, right? And you join all together a special group. So you start as a first instructor, but now also developed a lot in your country, right? A lot of courses are running now. Can you tell us a little bit more about the situation in Brazil?
Yes, Brazil is a huge country.
Mhm.
So as you know, and for one instructor, this is not enough. And even for four, we are four now,
Yes.
Vicente, Paulo, and Leandro. And now we have two assistants, Gustavo and Lucas.
Yeah.
So I think pretty soon we're going to be six. And we divide the country in areas so we don't compete to each other.
Yeah.
And we try to develop and spread the knowledge of PNF
Mhm.
as much as we can
Mhm.
for special places that where they don't have that high education. You've been in places like this here in
Yes.
Brazil, and
Yes.
we have like big cities where they are more easy for them, like in São Paulo and
Yes.
Rio, easy to get the knowledge. But we have many places in Brazil, they're still like kind of hidden, difficult to reach.
Mhm.
And we kind of try to improve the PNF in these areas too, to get more participants and more patients
Yeah.
be treated with this nice concept.
Right.
So that's it. I think we are improving, and we trying to keep in our PNF Brazilian school, as we call our group here.
Yeah.
We trying to keep the same philosophy as we have within the IPNFA. We don't want to compete to each other. We
Right.
hold our hands and we want to go forward together. This is the main point,
And
I
that's
should say.
very, very, very important. And this is so great to hear this, because we know from former years, and we know from some countries big problems between. And this, absolutely, you are right. It's not fitting really in our philosophy, right? Positive approach
Yes,
and family, PNF family. That's so important.
yes.
That's so great. That's so great. Thank you. So, and when you are, I mean, maybe you didn't do this till now, but when you think about on the future and think about the next 5, 10 years, I mean, we're still working then, right? I try to work
Yes.
till the end. And so, what do you think? What is important also, or what do you think? What maybe will change, because the world is changing so quick, dramatically? What do you think about this?
I think it's tough to think about in 5 or 10 years, but I see that we keep moving, getting the updates, and with all the research that is moving on.
Yeah.
But our bases are so like strong and solid that I think we can improve a lot
Yes.
with new ideas, with new areas
Mhm.
that we can where PNF can be applied, right? If we
Mhm.
think at the beginning, neuro and some orthopedic, and now we can see all over
Yes.
intensive care and kids and rheumatological problems and geriatrics. So I think the PT skills are improving a lot,
Yes.
and we're gonna continue moving with them. That's my
Right.
feeling. And
Right.
it's spreading all over the world. For us in the IPNFA, we had such a huge increase in Asia, right? If we
Yeah.
compare with 20 years ago,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yes.
So I think we just need to continue the way we are doing, updating our knowledge and sustaining the teaching in a high level quality for all the instructors.
Yes.
And that's
Right.
all.
That's great. And what comes in my mind, what also maybe is helpful, because this is absolutely new situation. And when I did the interview with Matt, unfortunately, he passed away now. And but he said already that he stepped back as author on the book, and now we have for the first time the chance also to change the PNF book, because now much more authors, right? And yeah, you also was, right?
Yes, I'm part of this and I'm happy too. It's another honor, and I really enjoy translation. This is another part of my job. And I translated the PNF book, the first edition in 1999, right after I came back from Vallejo.
Yeah.
And I translated the second edition in 2007, was published here in Brazil. But then we had problems to get the new editions because the publishers are not so interested, I should say. Too much money, blah, blah, blah. But now that I'm part of this group, I'm trying to get this also to the Brazilian version. And I think it's good because now Swadler is not here anymore, and Matt also not. And Dominic is such a nice person, very open guy, and very good to work in a group. So I feel very happy to be part of this new group to help updating the PNF in practice. That is definitely the best literature we have all over the world nowadays for helping participants at the beginning mainly, and the level 1, 2, and 3, it helps a lot. So I think we can have a chance to contribute and discuss in a group, and this is nice.
And I think this is also a great sign of our PNF family, because now from Poland, from South Korea, from Brazil, from Belgium, people are in, and that's really great. That's really a good idea. Yeah, that's so
working
good.
together.
Yes, that's so. So slowly coming to an end, and is there anything else you like to tell us and or saying to the group or the
nothing really special. I think we talk about everything. I'm really all the time when someone asks me about PNF, philosophy comes to my mind all the time. And then I think it comes in our life, in our daily situation with our patients, with our friends, with our family. So I think it's just like such a great opportunity to work with PNF and to keep doing what we do. And that's why we don't want to stop working, because it's such a great time we have treating patients and teaching PNF. It's such a wonderful situation.
Yeah, life is movement. If we stop to move, we will die, right? And I think if we are still burning for what we are doing.
And I must say that this job that you're doing, mainly now, you've been working for the IPNFA the whole time too, Kitty, but now you are definitely in the best position that you ever had before in the IPNFA. I think you're doing, I think you're doing a great job, and this is just for you, collecting all this information from many people that it's going to be like forever.
Thanks a lot.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, I started many years ago to do written interviews already, and my idea was writing a history book about the IPNFA history. But then, after a while, comes in my mind that the younger generation they are not reading really anymore, so this would be kind of boring.
And I forgot to say during our history that my partner, Fernanda de Natal, was instructor together with me. And then by that time, it was 2004, and we both were the first ones in South America. So I was the first one in Brazil, but I'm really proud to become instructor together with Fernanda. We made such a great partnership, and she's such a close friend of.
Also, we have in the IPNFA family over the years, we really find some colleagues, they are getting really close friends, and we can say they are really getting part of our family. And this is really, really a great big present. I really appreciate this. And you deserve whatever you get. So you said you are honored, but I'm really impressed also what you are doing for our group. And that's really, really, we can say thanks a lot for the whole family, because your whole family sometimes is completed in, and that's really great. Really great. So
Thank you so
Monica,
much, Kitty.
yeah, thanks a lot and stay healthy.
You
And
too.
see